Hello you sex beast and welcome back to Minecraft. Today, well, as I said in the last video, we're going to take a look at the T-90A. It is still the 1st of April technically when I'm recording this, but let's just keep it a little bit more serious. And by the way, it seems like we are on a new map. They have actually expanded the April Fool's event to Sinai Desert now, and I think we might be getting the abandoned factory Stalingrad as well as a map, which should be rather interesting. Let's quickly go over the stats of T-90. I have been playing a shit ton of this event last night, as you probably saw by the montage I uploaded earlier. Maybe today, maybe yesterday, I'm not sure when I'm going to upload this video. But essentially, I'm in fucking love with the T-90. This thing has so much ammo choices compared to the Leopard, and by far my favorite is the ATGM. Yes, I know, slightly hypocritical given that I bash ATGMs all the time in the live game. But I fucking love ATGMs on the T-90, alright? They're just so amazing for sniping enemy helicopters. The things are not even that good against enemy tanks, sure if you hit them, and if they don't know what you're doing. But mostly they're way too slow compared to the APTSFS shell, which is the fastest shell in the game right now. Now, the T-90A compared to the Leopard has actually a couple of differences, and it is not just a copy-paste of the same, well, same everything really. This tank is substantially slower than Leopard, both forwards and in reverse. The Leopard's 2A5 is definitely a more mobile tank. However, it also has technically better armor, and that's what I kind of want to touch on. The hull armor of this thing is better than the Leopard's. The Leopard does have the advantage of having absolutely awesome turret armor. The turret armor of the Leopard is very good. But the T-90 has, well, ERA on the turret front, as you can see on the sides there. That's explosive reactive armor, which means you are pretty much immune to heat shells as long as they hit those explosive packages. Let's see, something was shooting us over here. Oh, by the way, given that we have an ATGM, and this is high explosive, we can kind of destroy the houses, I suppose. Why is my voice gone? Why do I sound like Minecraft now? No, hello. Alright, maybe we should try and get out of this zone here. We're kind of in the middle of nowhere right now. If a helicopter catches us right now, we are fucked, essentially. Now T-90 does as well get a machine gun on the top, as you've probably seen. As you can see, the Leopard's turret is just absolutely amazing. The thing just... Actually, if you can go through the... There we go. If you can destroy the wall, we can actually hit this guy properly. Hold on. It's kind of hard trying to concentrate on everything at once. There's another... Ah! Fuck, do we have enough spawn points to spawn into the chopper? No, we don't. Okay, we have to try this again. But yes, essentially the T-90 is a better armored version that has much lower mobility, especially the reverse speed. The reverse speed of this thing is only 4 km per hour. I'm getting Panther PTSD playing this thing, essentially. You get 12 grenades that fire smoke, as you can see by the launchers that are on the turret. However, the slight problem with that is that I'm pretty sure it fires all of them at once. Which means that you only have one single charge and it didn't even work properly this time around. The Leopard does get 2 charges for the smoke launcher, so you can actually, well, save yourself twice. This thing sadly does not. However, I've also figured that Leopard doesn't seem to be able to actually reload these mortars, these smoke mortars in a cap zone. The T-90 actually can. Problem is it only reloads them one by one, which is not exactly ideal. Now, as with the Leopard, this thing doesn't have much in the ways of side armor. It does have better armor on the hull. Arguably better armor on the turret as well, although you might be vulnerable to the APTS shell of the Leopard. This thing is definitely better equipped against heat shells, which actually makes it a little bit more resistant against the helicopter missiles, for example. But at the same time, well, get shot in the side or get shot by APTS and you're kind of screwed. Getting shot from the front. Oh, that's 2 Leopards, okay. Not good, not good, not good. We don't have smoke, we do not have smoke. Well, let's quickly hide here and try and repair a cannon breach. There's a tank in front of us as well. 40-second repair! Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's another big difference between this and the Leopard. This thing only gets 3 crew because it has an autoloader, which means that One shot can actually kill you, even though you have technically more armor than Leopard. You kind of suffer in having less survivability, since a well-placed single shot that kills your drive and your gunner, for example, will destroy you in one shot. Alright, helicopter time. Now here's the thing, okay, pay attention if you don't know how to fly the helicopters. There's a big tip that I can give you. The problem I have with the helicopters is, actually let me just exemplify. The problem with my keyboard specifically is, I have a pretty cheap keyboard, so whenever I was holding shift to, of course, go up in the helicopter, I couldn't use the rest of the controls anymore. So if I wanted to, for example, go forwards at the same time, I simply couldn't. Now what I've done to fix that, essentially, is if you go into the controls, the helicopter controls, if you go into the prop pitch, edit axis, keep relative disabled axis and relative control. Enable those two options, and what happens is that you can simply do it like you do in the boats, for example, where you simply click shift, hold it down for a little bit, and it keeps the value. So you don't have to click shift anymore to keep going up. And this makes it so much easier to fly these helicopters. And now that I have that, I can do fancy maneuvers like this. Yes, you can do barrel rolls in helicopters. Who would have thought? Now, the ATGMs are a little bit, again, same as with the tanks. They become increasingly harder to actually precisely aim the farther away you are from the enemy. At the same time, however, they are very good at, for example, taking out other helicopters. As long as they're flying straight towards you and not aware of your presence, that is. Actually, something I wanted to show you as well. Now, you've probably experienced this before, but whenever you actually try to touch down, at least outside of the map, the helicopters would simply explode, right? Well... Oh no! Oh, you... Nah. This is the problem with live recordings, I can never do what I want. Okay, I'm just going to show some background footage that I have from before. As long as you are inside of the bounds of the map where the tanks are, you can actually land these helicopters, which is kind of nice. And then of course everyone just shoots you with rockets, because they're nasty. Now here's the thing, let's have a little bit of a real talk here. Yes, this is an April Fool's event, but of course this is also a testing. I really doubt this is pretty much guaranteed that we're not going to see these tanks the way they are. Simply because, well, these are still modern tanks and lots of the information is classified, which isn't good when you consider that Warfare likes to have stats for the tanks. Somewhat realistic stats. This is all pretty much made up. But this is definitely a test bed for things to come. Now, how will Gaijin do this? How could they do this in the first place? It's not like they can simply put this at tier 6, 7, 8, 9, like they're saying it in April Fools. Because keep in mind, unless they reduce the RP requirements for tier 5 or completely separate these into two different game modes, can you imagine the grind of trying to go from tier 5 to these? Yeah, that's a problem. Now, what I could actually imagine happening is using this, using the same engine, we could very well see a sort of War Thunder 2. A sort of separate game where we had stuff like this. Because let's be honest here, for an April Fool's event, this is amazing. This really is amazing. The ATGM, the guided missile kills feel incredibly satisfying. The tanks are very snappy, kind of arcadey, let's be real, but then again, no real stats for these tanks. But the gameplay is, it's completely different from what we have, but yet familiar enough so that you can actually get into it. And I have to say, Gaijin, congrats, you made something quite amazing here. Ah, it just went away, come on. As you can see, the longer they travel, the harder they become to aim. Especially when you do very hard mouse movements. Now I am using a Logitech G502, which has a button, programmable buttons that you can use to reduce the sensitivity of your aim on the fly, which is very useful in trying to aim these rockets here. But it's still— oh, come on, it was a hit marker! I showed off one of those moments in the montage as well, but yeah, you can actually get hit markers with against the helicopters with the ATGMs. His registration is still not perfect, even though we are in a pretty good server this time around. Last night I was pretty much playing on 200 ping exclusively. But he still have problems. Again! Come on, Gaijin, why you do this to me? Okay, but when he turns around, let's see if we can get him this time. Mate, that's a rock. Now, first impressions on this game mode, on this map specifically. I do have to say I do prefer the other map. It's tighter, which is good for the tanks. And it's not quite as open. This map is a little bit too open, given that you have the helicopters flying everywhere. And it does get kind of complicated. Oh, that guy was aiming for us. It does get kind of complicated when you have the helicopters flying all around, because they have pretty much a free reign on this map. I mean, it is so damn open, they can simply kill you right in the spawn. And once the enemy actually gets those points as well, it's kind of hard to get him out of it. As you can see, the map is way too open. At least our spawn side is way too open. In order for us to get to a capture zone, either we have to be there first before the enemy gets there, or we're pretty much screwed. Helicopter. What? What? Okay, here's the thing. I've never seen this before. This could be something map specific, but I've never had three clouds, dust clouds in the same map, in the same game. Actually, the one I showed in the gameplay was the only one I had during the entire night playing, so it's something especially with this map, but we're getting way more dust clouds than we are used to. Let's get a smoke cloud going. Use the smoke cover. Ah yeah, smoke of course being another thing that is essentially being tested out here. It's not only modern tanks, not only helicopters that are being tested out, but also the capability of smoke in the game. And I have to say, smoke might just be one of the most useful things we might see in the game. Someone has actually made... Ah, fuck, I missed that. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Now someone has actually made a user model where you can fire smoke grenades from your main gun, which is kind of amazing. And this is a proof of concept really of what you can really do with this, and it really helps. This is something that we really need in the game. And I hope that this is something that we are going to see soon as well, because, let's be honest here, smoke is really useful, and we have tanks that have smoke launchers already modeled, just not functional. And the thing is, the FPS aren't really affected. As you can see, we don't really get any FPS drops of this. Now look at this. We're currently at 60 FPS, right? Smoke deployed. Not a single FPS is dropped. Not a single one. And this is a very effective cover. There is a slight problem though. You can still sometimes see the optics, especially when you are between when the smoke screen is between you and Leopard. You can kind of still see the reflections of the glass on the optics of the Leopard, which is not ideal. But you can cover yourself against ATGMs. You can cover yourself against... Whoa! You can cover yourself against helicopters. I just wish the T-90 got more charges. The Leopard is better in that regard since you do get more charges with this. But overall, Gaijin, please get smoke launchers into the game already. I want this. Ah. Honestly, there's nothing more satisfying than just blowing up a helicopter with a well-aimed guided missile. It's just that good. Now with the helicopter you can essentially just hold, well, of course, set up the shift button like I showed you earlier too, so that it always goes up. But it allows you to do some pretty fancy maneuvers with the keyboard actually. You saw it in the montage around 2 minutes 5 seconds I think. Which is essentially a split S, which is freaking amazing by the way. You can do rolls, you can wear rolls, you can actually do flips as well. The problem with the flips is you lose a lot of authority when you are upside down in a helicopter, as you would expect. These things aren't really designed to be flown upside down, which makes things a little bit more challenging. But using my keys here, I can very easily control the helicopter. I did try a controller as well. I did try set it up with a controller, and it actually flies amazingly well with the controller. But once you have set it up correctly, you do have to disable mouse aim, or else it simply tries to override the controller controls. But overall, the flights controls are pretty good. There are some things that I would like to have changed, stuff like auto hover, for example, would be a nice feature so that you don't crash into random stuff when you are concentrated on flying this thing. But overall, you can definitely fly these things. As I'm going to demonstrate, I'm going to try and fly between the cities here before the game ends, actually. Not before you crash. Hopefully we don't crash. We're having some FPS, which as I can see. Very easy to control. And with the keyboard controls, you can do very low maneuvers as well. Simply turn around very well. And of course get shot by a Gepard that's just spawned in. But overall, yeah, I'm really liking this. I have to say, I am really liking this April Fool's event. This is only going on until the 2nd or 3rd of April, so if you haven't yet, log into the game, try it out for yourself. It really is a lot of fun. By the way, a little trick if you want to get screenshots of the vehicles in your hangar. Whilst you are in the screen, don't click OK. Okay, don't click OK. But the last vehicle you played is actually in the background of this menu screen. How do you take a picture of it? Well, I think F12 is the default button, screenshot without HUD. And so, you have a picture of the helicopter now. Anyways, lads, this is going to be this video for today. I don't really know what else to say, so let's just do a very awkward outro. Like this video if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more Minecraft Let's Plays, and I'll see you in the next one. My name is MikeGoesBoom, and thank you for watching.
You can lift your head up to the sky, take a deeper breath and give it time. You can walk the path among the lines, with your shattered frame of mind. Or instead you could always stay, we can wait right here and play, until somehow you can find